I think that IT should start to wear the cybersecurity hat more and more. Everybody, and developers as well. They shouldn't just go. I need to build a software that will do this, this, and that. But they have to have ingrained in their heads: is it safe? Will be the data secure? So it has to be a cultural change.
What do you think about the importance of IT asset management and software asset management? How important is that for having a good security posture? Understanding the risk.
It's fundamental. My opinion, and I keep telling that to my team, and I think my team is already tired of hearing me saying that I can't protect what I don't know.
Yeah.
I
Absolutely.
can't. And a good item or a good, I don't know, S-bone, software bill of materials, or any information that tells me what is it that I have in my technology stack will help me protect you better. If I don't know which data I have, how can I protect? How can I measure the right levels of protections, So this is, for me, is fundamental. It's usually the first thing that I do when I enter a company. And that's what I did when I was in the startup scene as well. The first thing that you do is categorize everything. Where is everything? How can I have real time information from the assets that I have, from the IT assets, from the software assets, APIs? What are the APIs that I'm using? What are the technology stack? What I'm using to build my software, and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. So what advice do you have for CTOs then, maybe if they don't have a CISO, and in relation to IT asset management and getting their, understanding the risk profile of their software estate? What can you put in place to ensure? Would you put like an asset management tool in place to monitor this stuff on an ongoing basis? What advice would you give to a CTO, Renata, generally?
I'm very agnostic from
Yeah.
tool wise. I don't care about the vendor. I care about what they are providing and how they can be helpful for me in the moment that I am. So any item, if you have money, go for the ones that are more expensive. But if you don't, try to do your best, but also always automating. Do not rely on Excel or static things. That's a nightmare. That's not scalable. You need to have something that will give you information. You give visibility constantly. There's a new area, not so new, but it's getting more and more famous, especially in the CTO area. It is the observability.
Of course.
Observability is fundamental for that area because we need to have eyes on that. We need to know what's in there. And that area, for me, it's one of the most important areas that my team works with the engineering team. It's the observability engineers. We need to see what's happening. We need to know what's happening. So a asset management tool integrated with a CM, a very good CM with automation, and a very good DevSecOps as well, and tools that can check what you have in your software, like SAST, DAST, and things like that, that can give you the information of vulnerabilities that you have. They are fundamental for you to work, for you to have the proper view of what's happening. And probably a DLP, all those tools, they work together. Put them together to give you this visibility, right?
Yeah, no, very well said. Fantastic. Just in terms of startups then, because it's a bit of a different situation, isn't it? But what advice would you give to entrepreneurs, especially entrepreneurs of companies who hold sensitive data? We're starting a business, digital first business, obviously in light of all this AI. I think AI is a huge security risk, isn't it? Chucking all your data into an LLM. But what sort of guardrails would you suggest for a startup to keep an eye on where their data is going and just making sure they maintain a decent security profile until they get a proper security person in to oversee it?
I would say that if they are looking for someone that will help them with technology, make sure that this person that's helping with technology also has a cybersecurity hat, because I don't think that they should wait for the possibility to have a cybersecurity person. I think they
Yeah.
should. I think that IT should start to wear the cybersecurity hat more and more. They, everybody,
Right.
and developers as well. They shouldn't just go. I need to build a software that will do this, this, and that. But they have to have ingrained in their heads: is it safe? Will
Of
be the
course.
data secure? So it has to be a cultural change. What they need is that they should put in start of their plan: I
Yeah.
want to have a software, and the software needs to have this quality. It needs to do this, this, and that, and needs to be safe. It needs to be there at the beginning. They need to start to think about security by design. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of course. Yeah.
everything, and needs to be a cultural change,
Yeah.
because security won't work if you bring it later. You will have so much more work, and it will be much more money to fix later, instead
Of
of
course.
starting secure from the beginning.
Yes.
And that's why, for me, I think it was so good for me when I was doing the startup scene, because I was joining as the CIO, but a CIO with a CISO hat as well,
Yeah. Sure.
so they were buying two by one for the price of one, in a way, if you think,
Of
because
course.
that's my passion, and so I was doing that. That was part of me, and for me, a CIO should think about cybersecurity all the time, as a CTO should think about cybersecurity all the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. I think so. Look, I wanted to ask you. Obviously, Civica do a lot of work within public sector. Now,
Yeah.
public sector organizations are often, not always, but they're often quite, maybe haven't even gone through full digital transformation yet. In some cases, obviously, have quite, in some cases, old working practices and not, didn't sort of evolve as digital first or security first. How do you impose a security structure on these organizations? What kind of problems do you encounter, Renata? What kind of challenges do you have working with your clients?
I think most of the challenge are that, what you already said, they didn't go through a digital transformation. Sometimes
Yeah,
their infrastructure is still in the last century. They didn't move to the 21st century yet. They are still, the process are still there as well, and
yeah,
the people's mentality. So they are still using things like, I want to connect using RDP, or I want to use a, I don't know, uh, connect directly to a computer, instead of using the facility of connecting to a web page, or an app itself.
yeah,
And they are still using very old stuff, very old stuff. So I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have. And they don't have enough hands. I think that's the other problem. They don't have enough hands. The hands that they have, they are putting on the things that they feel it's the most important. And as I said, cybersecurity, it's not on the top list of most people, most organizations. So they don't see it as important.
yeah.
So it's not there. So what I try is to kind of raise the bar, raise the what cybersecurity actually means and how it's important, right? So
Yeah.
that's kind of my personal goal, I would say. Yeah.